What's up everybody, how's it going? Welcome to this special video from Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age. In this video I want to talk about the Espers. So during the walkthrough I got all of the Espers, but one thing we didn't really do was look into the lore. So they have bestiary entries for all of the Espers that tell us a little bit about them and their history, how they came to being, and there's also some sage knowledge to go with this as well. So I thought it might be nice if I made a video where we talked about all of the Espers individually, where I read out their bestiary entries, and I showed you all of their death blows because some of them were missing. So we've got a total of 13 Espers to get through, but before I get to that, one thing I didn't know was that there's sage knowledge in the game. So if you defeat a certain number of enemies, you get some extra knowledge about certain things in the world of Belias, and one of these is to do with Espers. So if you defeat enough of the Zagnals, you get sage knowledge number 27. So this tells us about the Espers and how they came to being. So it's like a little general overview of what these guys are all about. The Espers, beings of strange form and appearance made by the gods in ancient times. Favoured with great strength and intellect, the Espers knew power far beyond that of men, but their power made them proud, and at length they sought to challenge the gods. Seeing this, the gods were angered and struck down their blessed children, and binding their souls and flesh with the glyph of the beast, they stole their freedom for all eternity. Now they are bound to live only when summoned by their glyph, to serve whoever called them forth. So there's the origin of the Espers. Now let's move on to each individual Esper, starting with Belias the Gigas, Mesha Ascendant, Scion of Darkness and Guardian of the Holy Realm, made by the gods in opposition to the transcendent Logryph, Scion of Light, called the Gigas for his appearance, man and monster fused as one. Considered a mistake upon his making, and receiving not his intended role, the Gigas challenged the gods and lost. Scorned by his masters, he found another, the Dynast King, whose tomb he swore to protect for eternity. So created by the Ecuria, cast out, and they all found a new master. Mateus the Corrupt, Mina Ascendant, Scion of Darkness ruling and protecting those who live in the underworld, in opposition to La Hebrea, Abyssal Celebrant and Scion of Light. In course of his rule, he submitted to avarice, and darkness took his heart, transforming him until he was both evil and corrupt. Then in his cowardice did he bind a goddess of the Demesne of ice, and using her as a living shield he challenged the gods. Defeated before their might, he fell screaming into the depths of hell, there to be imprisoned for eternity. Adrammelech the Wrath, Makara Ascendant, Emperor among the Scions, able to reduce to nothing aught he strikes with a single vengeful blow of his fist, created in opposition to Dudalaphon, the Benevolent, Scion of Light. Though he was made by the gods to quell the fiends that raged in the otherworld, his immense strength and fearsome visage drew the fiends to his side and turned him against his creators. Adrammelech rose to prominence in the otherworld, whence he led a fiendish horde against the gods, but in the end he was defeated. Zalera, the Death Seraph, Mithuna Ascendant, heretic scion who wrapped the world in dark energies, seeking to take the souls of all living things unto himself, created in opposition to Emet-Selch, Angel of Truth, and Scion of Light. Originally tasked with the judging of men upon their deaths, His soul was tainted by the curses of those who raged against the heavens, and seizing one of the god's servants, a shamaness, as a hostage, he rebelled against his creators. Even now, in defeat, he clutches the shamaness to him in his right arm, and with the aid of her death wail does he summon the soul of darkness to do his bidding. Shemhazai the Whisperer, Darnus Ascendant, scion that is both horse and woman, wielding utter control over the souls that wander the underworld, in opposition to the Mater Igeorum, scion of light. Though she once served the gods as a guardian, when Ultima announced her rebellion, Shemhazai went to her, whispering of the gods' hidden weaknesses. She then descended upon the land without leave of the gods, and taught men of destruction and evil. For this she was stricken down and bound. Hashmal, bringer of order, Simha Ascendant, scion set by the gods to wield and manipulate the laws of this world, and with holy power lead mankind to order, created in opposition to Fandaniel the Protector, scion of light. Desiring to bring order to all things, he joined with Ultima in her battle against the gods. He gave his body to the 1,000 Years' War, and when his strength was spent, down into the burning inferno he fell. Cuchulainn, the Impure, Vrishchika Ascendant, scion created to rid the world of its impurities by swallowing them within himself, in opposition to Nebriales the Majestic, scion of light. The world, however, was more filled with impurity and corruption than even the gods dared imagine, and having swallowed it all, the once beautiful Cuchulainn was transformed into a hideous thing, a deity of filth, and so did he turn against his creators. Wherever his feet should fall, there all life withers to dust. Zeromus, the Condemner, Karka Ascendant, honouring the law more than any other, a scion of holy order and condemner of criminals, created in opposition to Nightstar Pashtarot, scion of light. He turns his deep, abiding hatred for those who break the law into living darkness, therein to plunge the guilty in fell judgment. Over time, he came to care less for upholding the law and more for condemnation, and so tainted by hate, he sought to condemn the gods themselves to death. Thus did he earn the title of the Condemner, and thus did he fall from grace. Exodus, the Judge Sal, Tula Ascendant, most ancient of the scions, created in opposition to Halmarut, the Arbiter and Scion of Light, tasked with keeping watch over the world, with the authority to judge the value of all things, As he watched, unseen, unknown, his attachment to the world dwindled and faded until it was as nothing. Fitting that he would desire to make the world too as nothing, yet he fell in the war against the gods and was thwarted, imprisoned in punishment for his heresy. Famfrit, the darkening cloud, Cumba ascendant. The hideous, darkly clouded form of Famfrit, scion in opposition to Holy Queen Emeroloth, scion of light, was anathema even to his creators. Thus, after a great battle, was he broken and sealed with an armour laced with wards. The confines of his armour are void of light, and so is he called the darkening cloud. Men fear the rain that falls from the black clouds that ooze from the giant ewer as a herald of chaos and waste. Chaos, Walker of the Wheel, Rishaba ascendant. Tutelary deity of the sacred crystals fashioned by the gods at the time of the Great Making, created in opposition to Mitron the Chastiser, scion of light. Upon entering the world of man, he was enveloped in the turmoil rampant there. Lost, he died and was reborn countless times, a walker of life's wheel, eventually to rage against the gods that had so fated him. By sitting in meditation upon the Une pedestal, does he clear heart and mind until all that has order and reason and thought is made as nothing. Ultima, the High Seraph, Kanya ascendant. Masterpiece among the scions created by the gods, and mastermind of the plot to rise against them. Prior to her betrayal, she was tasked with guiding souls to heaven and aiding their reincarnation. Called the High Seraph for her angelic wings of glimmering gold, yet it was on wings of deepest black that the tainted angel Ultima rose against the gods. Since her fall, her heart is without light, and impossible to know. Zodiark, Keeper of Precepts, Ashlesha Ascendant. Strongest of the scions created by the gods, they feared his growth and so kept him a child. So indomitable is his strength that all things are by him twisted and pressed into oblivion. He alone fashions the laws governing all things and administers punishment in place of the gods. So is he Keeper of the Precepts, and his authority is absolute. So there we have it, guys. I hope you learned a little bit about the Espers in this episode. I certainly did while I was researching this. There is a lot of lore hidden away in this game. I mean, the sage knowledge alone is quite interesting, but there is a ton of it. So I definitely want to do it for the Espers because they were quite a major part of the side questing in the game. I had a lot of fun fighting them, and I did want to know a little bit more about them. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Take care.